Hello, Suhail. Welcome to what is it? It is Cybersecurity Month of October.
Hi, Greg. Always a pleasure. Always such
Excellent.
a pleasure.
Yeah, so this is a new format for us. We are having cybersecurity via the podcasts. We're going to be bringing in some guests over the next 5 episodes to chat to us about, well, cybersecurity, what's happening. And I think then we have some competitions that are busy running in the background.
We have a 5-week competition running in the background. So, how it works is we're going to be posting a clue on our social media. I think it's on a Monday. And then this episode will give you more information about that clue. And then participants are going to go on our website and follow the clues and find this special secret something hidden on the website and then submit it. And we've got some pretty awesome prizes. We've got cybersecurity vouchers, we've got hampers, we've got a whole lot of cool stuff. So this is just episode 1, but if guys don't find the clue and they don't guess correctly, there's 4 more coming up and 4 more chances to win.
Excellent. So let's kick off straight with Bodhi. Let's see, let's get him online onto the screen. How's it, Bodhi?
I'm awesome.
So, Bodhi,
Hello, Bodhi.
you are head of security
Hi,
at
Suhail.
Amata, and we obviously Vox contracts to Amata. Just give us a little bit about your background.
Okay. I've been doing cybersecurity for about 17 years now. I have a bunch of certifications that I don't want to bother people with, about 17 of them in excess. But really, it's more about just what I love doing, what I enjoy doing. I've also worked in banking industry in Nigeria, about 3 of them. And now I'm having fun doing, and when I was with Vox, I did a bit of telecoms, a new field, but also interesting. And now with Amata, working with various clients, some vCISO, some manage their firewalls, and some their email security. Not yet.
So I'm going to throw it out there because it's something that's always fascinated me. Is that are you a prince in Nigeria that has got millions stashed away somewhere?
Interestingly, about a couple of years ago, there was actually a guy from Missouri that was in US that was also acting as Nigerian prince. So Nigerian princes are everywhere these days.
Okay, perfect. Well, welcome. And our conversation today is confidentiality data. Sharing is not caring. Just give us an overview of that statement.
Okay, so as you said, confidential data sharing is not caring. Ideally, in some scenarios, when you say I'm sharing, sharing things talks about caring. But now remember, we said 2 keywords: confidential and data. What is data? Data is information that you have, and actually, with regards to Vox policies, we have 3 broad spectrum of data. We have confidential data, which is data that should not actually leave required users. In some scenarios, let's say Vox unaudited reports or finance reports, or even when it comes to customers, personal PIIs, basically what we use to identify a customer. An example will be their names, their email address, the phone numbers, things that can help identify a customer. So anything in that category is confidential data. So we also have internal classification, meaning example, Vox policies, Vox procedures, Vox processes. Those are internal data. Then the last part is, public data, meaning any information you can see on Vox websites that does no harm and everybody can have access to it. So back to the topic, meaning confidential data, PII, things that are very critical to customers should not be shared. So confidential data is them sharing is not caring.
But I mean, really, like customers' email address or a staff's email address and their name. How's that confidential? Everybody knows my email address, and customers give out their email addresses. Why can't we just leave them lying on our desks?
So first question now is, remember, there's POPIA now. Now, POPIA talks about privacy of data. The first question will be, has the customer given us permission to share their data with every other person? And also remember, the reason why we have this email address is for a purpose. So Greg or Swahel, your email address is because you work with Vox. the moment you move on to other places, that email address seems to exist. Your email address most times for customers is for their personal use, and the reason they gave to Vox is so that we can communicate with them regarding the contract we have with them. You have our bundle offerings. The reason why we gave us so that we can say yes, it's time for payment, or these are your additional offers. So the reason they gave us is not for us to share with other people, and that's why it's a bit particular. Another example will be HR data. So the reason you have my data, my date of birth, all kind of things. Yes, if people ask me, coming to me is different. I give them, but the reason I give to HR is so that you can have my data and not to share it. So I think those are the ways and how I see that is different. We can't just share it without proper permission.
Let me scale it back a bit, Bodhi, because I think sometimes a lot of us make a misconception in thinking, I'm not high ranking enough to access confidential data. I mean, people seem to think that confidential data is only between CEO and CFO and maybe the legal team. And I think that's something we need to actually unpack and explore. What exactly constitutes confidential data?
Yeah, I like that question. So typically, yes, CEOs, CFOs, head execs, yes, they have confidential data. Fantastic. But at the same time, other people also have. HR has, finance has, even the project team has. And as we said, in a unique place like Vox, because we also have access to Solid. Remember, on Solid, I can practically tell you how to locate anybody. I can tell you their home address. So even being because you have access to Solid alone shows you have access to a lot of details, a lot of confidential data of customers. And we also have to respect their privacy and know that the reason you have it is for particular purposes and not just to share with the internet.
But I need to ask, what benefit is it to a potential hacker? I mean, is it an actual threat, like to know a customer's details? I mean, it doesn't seem very dangerous.
So, in fact, on the internet, people sell data every day on the darknet. Having data is like having an oil block, have access. So, typical example, I have access to customer details. All I have to do is, Swile lives in, let's say, Australia. I have your address, I have your email address, I have your phone numbers. So you're giving me several opportunities. What I can do, I can call you out from the blue, say, oh, sorry, is that Swahel? Do you live in Australia? Please, I have an offer for you. I can mime cases just because I have that data. In some scenarios, you have people's IDs, their passport numbers. So imagine I'm posing as somebody from immigration or somebody from the police. I can be anybody. Apart from that, I can target emails to you. Normally, back in the days before AI, people would say, dear customer. But now I'm saying, dear Swahel, dear Greg. So I'm telling you, our data shows that you stay in Australia. You get my point? So I'm building a level of believability already. So anything I tell you next, I say, oh, sorry, we noticed your password is not good. Please get this link and update your password. That's all I need. And guess what? Our users at times use the same password for their email and for their bank account. So imagine I have the access to all those things. From your email, I've moved to your bank account. I've gone to your Facebook. I've gone to your WhatsApp. In fact, I'm already sending mails to people, your contact. Please, I'm in Australia. I'm stuck right now. I need money. Send me money. So you can see how I'll spiral the events just from having your information to even defrauding people you know.
So you're telling me that Facebook request I got from Michael Jackson to send him $100 is not real?
Don't worry, that's you. Just click on it.
So I think the big thing is obviously what do we do if we have done one of these things, clicked on these links, or not known? What is the remedy for us?
So to be fair, it's a bit difficult because remember, as they say, internet never forgets. So once it's out there, what you can just try and do is you have to be more proactive when you get all those emails, all those calls, because it's out there. It's out there. Okay, so in some scenarios out there. Let me get another example. So imagine I've given my password to my email address, my Yahoo, my Gmail. I can change the password. But if I give an let's say my password to my Vox, I can contact the IT team to change immediately. If I don't do that, in 30 days, it will also get changed. But at the same time, it's now about what have I shared and what is the potential damage of what I have shared. If you're giving out your IDs, I'm sorry, that cannot be changed. All you can do is going forward, be more proactive. When people call you, people send you emails, or people send you even messages or anything, you have to be more, you have to think twice before responding. And also in some scenarios, in fact, I've heard of some instances where there are some services that can help you check your data online. Say, look, how exposed are you? Are your passwords on the dark net? So those are things that can help, but it's usually better not to have let it out at all. Or it depends on what you let out. If just a password, not too bad. You can always get a new one. But if it's if it's information that cannot change, like your name, your date of birth, your SID, it gets tricky.
So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of responsibility on the individual to be responsible. But my question is, as an organization or a business, what protocol or what can you do to basically equip your employees with the knowledge required and to understand the importance of this?
Yeah, and I think a couple of things are already in place. A typical example is access control. I don't have access to Swahil's HR files. Only people in HR have access to it. The finance people, I don't know that have access to finance-related files. Same for the project team, the people in VTSA have access to only files or data that they require. Now, the other part now is what we are doing right now. We have policies. We are also trying to get people aware that, look, these things are real. In some scenarios, and to be fair, people do share these things mistakenly. But as you know, in law, ignorance is not an excuse. And that's why we are saying, look, let's try and inform people more. Let's try and educate people more, and let's get it out there. And I'm sure we do also a number of newsletters. Try to say, look, what is data? What are the things you can do once it has gone out? How do you report incidents? Those are things that we feel will help.
And I have one more. How relevant is this actually in SA? I mean, cybersecurity, it sounds like a very first world out there concept. I mean, is it actually a problem in SA, or is that just something we read about and may one day be affected by?
It's real. I'm sure if you take a random survey right now, how many people have had their identity stolen? Somebody who maybe at least 1 in 3 people will know somebody, if not them, that has have their data stolen or their identity stolen, either your bank account or, as you said, social media. And you know what? That's a very dangerous one now these days. Everybody's out there showing. In fact, in some scenarios, people are taking pictures and you can see their addresses, even though it's your data. But what you're doing to yourself is you are exposing yourself unnecessarily. And what I always say is this. So imagine you have a staff that exposes his own data. Do you think the person will bother that much exposing customer data? Not necessarily. So it's a big concern, not just in SA, worldwide. And that's why you have all these rules like POPIA, GDPR, NDPR. Everybody's trying to protect data now. As you say, data is the new oil. So really, it is a major concern everywhere in the world, including SA.
Oh, well, Bodhi, and thanks for that. I think, obviously we're going to be having a few more of these conversations discussing that. So thank you very much for joining us today. Suhail, obviously my wife is not available, so don't please try and steal her marriage certificate. And as the big pink purple dinosaur used to say, sharing is not caring. So thanks very much, Bodhi, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. And Greg, I'll catch you same time next week.
Same times next week. Thanks, Suhail.
Awesome.